All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Genius Talk, man. Another baseball story slash like real life story. Like I feel like even if you don't play baseball, you can, even if just in real life, you can kind of like hear this story and be like, dang, like okay, I could kind of take something from that. All right, and the main focus for today is exposure to light will help a flower grow. All right. So for those of y'all, I mean, not saying that y'all are flowers and nothing like that, but in a sense, you feel me? It's a lot of things that have to go on for a flower to be able to grow. A flower is not going to be able to grow without sunlight, without water, without soil. It's a lot of things that go into a flower growing, okay? And it's a lot of things that go into baseball players growing, people growing, everything like that. All right, so I want to tell you guys one of my stories that I have that I feel like helped me out when I was in high school. Maybe it was a little too late when I got the message, but I feel like I was able to figure it out and, do what I could with the time that I had left. You feel me? For high school and everything like that. Alright, so basically, for me, I, started off at one high school. I was, first year, I felt like I played terrible. I felt like I was a horrible player and everything like that. I had cool numbers for like a professional athlete, like pro player, but not for the stuff that I was seeing. Striking out too much, doing a lot of things I wasn't supposed to do. So one of my favorite coaches, probably my favorite coach, other than my dad, he gave me an eye opener. Like I trained with him in the summer. He asked me what was my numbers. I told him. He said, "Oh my God, for that league," and I had no idea in my brain that these numbers were even possible. I heard the number that he said, which was, man, in that league you gotta be batting at least 500. I'm like, at least. I'm like, people do that? Like, it was an eye-opening experience for me to hear that kids are out here batting over. I know kids were batting 300, but I was just naive to the fact of, like, high school baseball wasn't as hard as I was making it to be. So, you feel me? With that information, with that little seed that he planted in me that batting 500 is, like, the threshold, the next year I went out, I batted like 555. Like I was one of the top players in the league just as a sophomore. But for some reason I was like, man, this is kind of too easy. Like me batting 500, I was like, this is extremely easy. Like I feel like I didn't even do that much to get this. Like I should have been better than that. That's what I thought. I felt like I shouldn't even been getting out. But I felt like I wasn't getting the development that I felt like I should have. So with that being said, I started resenting where I was at, and I felt like I needed to move. Alright? Best decision I made in my life was moving from one high school to another, because for me, I wanted to play baseball. Some of you guys out there, y'all might just want to go to school. For me, baseball was the number one thing in my mind. Baseball and sports in general was the reason why I stayed in school. The reason why I wanted to go to school. And for me to leave my first school, which I loved, and move to another school was strictly business for me. Like I made a decision in my head that I was going to be something with the baseball space. Now, another thing as well, with me moving schools, I got bigger and better opportunities. So we started playing teams that I had never even seen pitching like that before. I had never seen probably in that league I was in before, I had never seen nobody throwing 80, 85, all of that different type of stuff I was not seeing on a regular basis. I wasn't seeing pro prospects and teams that actually were really good and hitting home runs all the time. Now we hit home runs, but like inside the Parkers and stuff like that. But when I moved to this new school and we got in this new league, it was a big eye opener for me. And another thing that my coach did was my coach threw me to the wolves. You feel me? My coach was like, you know what, like, if you're going to work hard, which I did, I worked hard. I worked hard for what I knew was hard work. And for me, I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm prepared to do whatever I need to do. And for me, I went and was able to get an area code tryout. I was able to get, area code is basically like the biggest thing in amateur sports for like, or one of the biggest things in amateur sports for baseball. The area codes, you make the area codes, you pretty much you're on to either being a draftable prospect. You're a draftable prospect at that point. You're going to be getting college scholarships, all of these different type of things. For me, I went to the tryouts. I was able to see all the different athletes that was there. Eye opener, bro. Eye opener. Going into my senior year and not making that team was a huge eye opener for me. I went home and I told myself, I'm not, like, that whole car ride home, I was like, I'm not good enough. I genuinely was telling myself, I'm not good enough. But did that stop me from playing? Heck no. I love the sport too much for me to stop playing and stop doing what I love doing. So what did I do? Every day from that day on, I worked out. I either worked out at home, I went in my backyard and I lifted weights, or I went and I worked out with my coach every day. We either did practice at the school once and then left from the school and went to the park and we practiced for hours. My day consisted of school from 8 a.m. to, man, for me, because I got out of school early, 8 a.m. to like 12, and from 12 or 1 to 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night was strictly baseball. Strictly baseball. I was either hitting, running, fielding. I was doing something baseball wise, and I really fell in love with the grind. I fell in love with the grind of baseball, and that just really takes me back to the point of, like, exposure to the light will help a flower grow. Like, that experience that I had my junior year going into my senior year, being able to go to the area code tryout, see that I wasn't good enough and work my butt off. I was able to get things like the preseason All-American for Under Armour. I was able to go to that camp and, actually, like, do really well, get really good reception from scouts and everything. And, I just felt like I was on a trajectory to where I was able to do whatever I wanted with baseball. Now, I had an extremely good senior year. I batted like 700. It's checkable. You guys can go ahead and check it. It's all right. You're all right. But I batted a crazy amount and hit a crazy amount of home runs, stole over 50 bases, and I had a really good year that year. But that year, I don't think happens if I don't get exposed to all of those top prospects that were in the area. That was just in the area. That wasn't even me making it to the area code games and seeing everybody in the nation. You feel me? I was able to do something like that when I went to the preseason All-American game, and I was able to actually stay and play in games. But with the area code, it just didn't work out for me. But with all that being said, man, all I have to say at the end to wrap this up is to expose yourself, guys. If you are somebody who feels like you love baseball, you want to do stuff with baseball, you want to be a professional player, you want to play in college, you want to if you feel like things are too easy, expose yourself. Go into places that are hard. You want to be challenged. Baseball is a challenging sport. You need to learn how to fail. So with that being said, challenge yourself, expose yourself to the light, and your flower will grow. You feel me? Hopefully you guys got a good message out of that. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Later.